If you're like me, sometimes you read something in the Bible and you really know why, you don't really know why it's important, but somehow you just know that it's important. Uh, so you pause a minute and you read it again. Yet you remain puzzled by it. Why has that caught my attention? But so I experienced that again once again this week, and I just wanted to talk to you just a little bit about it because it ended up being something, a revelation to me. It's some kind of a blessing it turned out to be. So in our weekly men's Bible study and lunch, we're currently studying the Gospel of Luke, and last week we're studying about the feeding of the 5,000 in chapter 9. There are 6 simple words in one little sentence spoken by Jesus that have always caught my attention in verse 13 of chapter 9 of Luke. It's where Jesus gave his apostles this command: you give them something to eat. So to give these 6 words context, let's read from Luke chapter 9, verses 12 through 16. So here we go. Late in the afternoon, the 12 came to him. That's the 12 disciples, or the 12 apostles, really. They came to him and said, send the crowd away so they can go into the surrounding villages and countryside and find food and lodging, because we are in a remote place here. Jesus replied, you give them something to eat. They answered, we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, unless we go and buy food for all this crowd. There were about 5,000 men with him. But he said to his disciples, have them sit down in groups of about 50 each. The disciples did so, and everybody sat down, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up into heaven, he gave thanks and broke them. And then he gave them to the disciples to set before the people. This crowd of over 5,000 people were following Jesus because of his teaching and healing. They were in a remote place, and it was getting late in the afternoon. The apostles knew that the people must be getting hungry and that they didn't have hardly any food to give them. So they saw the need, and out of their concern for this crowd of people, they told Jesus about it, expecting him to solve the problem. I suppose they did this because he was Jesus, and they knew that he could. And that's exactly the way I think most of the time when I see people that need help. I trust Jesus. I know he hears my cries. I know he is compassionate. And I know that he can do anything. He will take care of it. I trust him to take care of it. Are you like that too? When you see someone in need of help, do you think, or maybe pray, God will send someone else along who is better equipped, has more resources? Or here's one I often use: God will send someone along who has more time than me to meet this need. So it goes something like this. We see a need, we say a short prayer asking Jesus to meet the need, and along our merry way we go, relieved in our soul of any responsibility to do anything. Here's the real story. I met a boy this week named Jonathan. He is about 10 years old, I suppose, and he had a need that needed met. And just like the apostles in the scripture we just read, it was late in the afternoon, and I didn't really want to deal with it. So God would send someone else along to do it in his time. I could tell Jesus about it and be on my way, right? I could say a little prayer, God, meet this young boy's need. No responsibility, no worries, clear conscience. Then I realized that God had already sent someone there to meet the need. No need to fire off a short prayer. You see, he had already placed me there with the needed resources at just the right time so that Jonathan's need could be met. So now I'm beginning to understand what we've been discussing at our Bible study. I was also beginning to understand these simple words. You give them something to eat. And why they've stood out every time I've read them. So here's a very simple yet vital creed for us that call ourselves Christians to follow. When I see someone in need, I am God's hands and feet. I'm already there. I can do my part, and Jesus will do what I can't. Proverbs 3:27 and 28 is another similar scripture that has always stuck in my mind. It says, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow and I will give it to you, when you already have it with you. You know, those are indeed words for us all to live by. And I believe God's people need to understand and act on those simple words. You see, when we see a need, God has already answered the prayer that is yet to be spoken. Before it leaves our lips, God's already answered it when we're there and we have the means to provide. He has placed us at just the right place, at just the right time to be his hands and feet. He has or will provide everything that is needed to meet that need. So remember, friends, that's why Jesus said, you give them something to eat. Until next time, take care and God bless. Talk to you again soon.